there are many myths about Jesus. In these programs, we're talking to some experts who can help us get at the facts behind the myths. One myth is that we don't know what the people who wrote the Bible's accounts of Jesus actually said. Before printing was invented, these accounts were copied by hand, again and again, and mistakes and deliberate distortions have crept in.
Now, some critics have suggested that, perhaps the original Gospels were written down very accurately and very well, but then, of course, they disappeared and other copies had to be made, and then copies of copies of copies. So by the time we get to the 3rd century, where we have manuscripts that we now possess and are available in museums and libraries around the world, who knows, maybe the text of the Gospels had changed a lot. But there have been ongoing discoveries. Not only have we found fragments of the Gospels earlier and earlier, all the way back into the 2nd century, not only do we observe a text that is stable and has not changed, but what we've also learned from manuscript discoveries, papyri, and so on that have been found in Egypt, is that books lasted a long time. They were made of leather or made of papyrus, from which we get the word paper, a very durable writing material. And what we have found is that books in antiquity were often read and reread, handled and used and copied for 100 years or more. And so it's quite possible that when the 3rd century manuscripts were copied out, of which we now possess copies in our museums, the originals were still circulating. The original Matthew, the original Mark, what we call the autographs, were still in circulation for many years, being copied and copied again on into the 2nd century and perhaps even into the 3rd, which of course created a very stable text. And so the idea that because there are some scribal errors, and in handwritten manuscripts there always are scribal errors, the idea that that means that we don't know how the text originally read, there really is no foundation for that kind of skepticism.
Dan Wallace is one of the world's leading experts on the evidence for the Bible's accounts of Jesus. We asked him how many handwritten copies there are.
The last the official number we have of how many Greek New Testament manuscripts, just the Greek ones, which is what the text was originally written in, stands at 5,813. And to think in terms of complete manuscripts, there's a couple of different things you have to wrestle with. One is, are they complete as far as the purpose of that particular scribe is concerned? Most of our manuscripts are Gospels only. And a good number of those are complete. That is, they have all 4 Gospels in them. We have only 61 manuscripts in Greek that are complete New Testaments from Matthew through Revelation. But the earliest of those was written in about AD 350 in the 4th century. It's known as Codex Sinaiticus, and it's what Constantine von Tischendorf discovered at St. Catherine's Monastery at Mount Sinai in Egypt in 1859. It now has a prominent place in the British Library. It's a magnificent manuscript, complete New Testament, not a single leaf is missing, and it's the oldest complete New Testament by 500 years. The average size New Testament manuscript, even though it may not be the complete New Testament, is over 450 pages. That's the average size manuscript. We have altogether more than 2.6 million pages of Greek text in these handwritten manuscripts over the centuries.
The myth is that we don't know what the people who wrote the Bible's accounts actually said. The fact is that there are thousands of handwritten copies of the original documents, amounting to millions of pages. Not only that, but the copies go back very close in time to the originals, as we'll see in a later program. Next time, we'll look at how this evidence for the Bible's accounts of Jesus compares with the evidence for other ancient documents.